Good morning. Welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, Anne, who is celebrating her 18-year anniversary of working for Reaper today. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for those resubs, guys. Bearded Goblin and M. Fontana. Did I miss anybody? Let me go up. Okay, cool. Yeah. So 18th. So what we're doing, oh snap, is we're doing gift codes because I don't have a really good conceptualization because I'm out here on the West Coast. I don't know what's in stock, out of stock, etc., what's hot, what's not, at the Reaper factory. So essentially it's easier for me to just say, let's just give people a free product by giving them the opportunity to order anything. So you should all use it all on paint. So that's my official weigh in. But yeah, it's better. I am a believer in the gift card. I'm a believer in please give this person the ability to choose exactly what they need rather than giving them something they might already have, right? Because I could have given away starter sets, but most of you probably already have most of the paints in the starter set. So then it's like, well, yeah, you could pass paint on to other people, but it's cooler if you can just, do stuff. Let's see here. Oh, Hype Train is close. One more person needs to sub or gift or use bits, guys. We need another bits to get our Hype Train. We have a minute. Ooh, yay! And T-Mat, thank you, Margaret, for gifting that sub. Fantastic. Yay! I'm officially I refuse to become an adult. However, my employment has become an adult. It can now vote. Yes, April Fool's Day. Kickstarter shipments arriving in Denton, I call that April Fool's. Oh, boy. Yeah, this will help you guys hopefully get some Pathfinder paint, because it is good stuff. Yeah, exactly, right? Bits used. Sweet! Oh, it says we're still close. Oh, Brax got a bit. Yay! There's our Hype Train. Yay! I wanted a Hype Train to... Thank you, John. Do you remind Ed that it's my 18 year? Because Ed always forgot. But, Ed has so much stuff on his mind already. Like he's going to remember my work anniversary, right? But yes. 18 years with Reaper, guys. Crazy talk, right? I never thought I'd be with a company this long. Ever. ever. But that just goes to show you that Reaper is cool, right? So, my employment is legally an adult fatherwind. I refuse to grow up. I think it's overrated, much to my mother's chagrin. Thanks, Bug Lips. It's good to see you. But yeah, 18 years. 18 years at Reaper. Well, 18 years working for Reaper, because, you know, I kind of split away from Texas, you know, last year. But still. Yes, thank you, everybody. I'm so happy that you all showed up today. Wow, we're working on a level 2 hype train. Dang, you guys are so good. About 5 months of 18 years? Yeah, MG. Not easy even at a good job. Well, once you realize that every job is going to have its ups and downs, and you have to, like, look at your bottom line, right? And compare it to other jobs you could have. We got to keep that big perspective, the big picture, right? So yes, absolutely. So thank you. Yeah, we haven't done, I don't think Justin has set up a giveaway yet. Justin, do you want to set up our first giveaway early on in the stream to reward our you know, early in viewers? Aw, Chibi, you're so sweet. Dang. There we go. Level 2. Yes. Oh, good, Bug Lips. Yay. That's fantastic. Oh, there we go. Hashtag Ann in chat, please. Hashtag Ann. Not hashtag free. Hashtag Ann. Yes. Enter the giveaway. Woo! Yay, it's been so long since we had a giveaway. Like, I know I give away free knowledge all the time, and that's the thing that we talk about, but it's nice to, like, give you guys presents on my anniversary. Hello, green users. It is my 18-year anniversary of working for Reaper today. I bet you have an even longer Reaperversary, though, Julie. Because you guys have been working... Haven't you been working for Reaper? Maybe. I don't know. How many years have you been working for Reaper? Or do you not just want to think about it? But yes, I've been with Reaper a very long time. There are very few people at the company who have worked there longer than me. Although, as I was mentioning yesterday, you know, obviously Ed and Dave, because they were founders, but Ron Hawkins and our sculptor, Kevin Williams. And there are a couple others, I think. But yeah, the whole stream is a gift. Aw, thanks, Big Apple. You're awesome. And another gifted sub. Thank you, Crowley Hamster. Since the 90s. Yeah. So Julie outranks me, guys. I started in 2003. So Julie and Bob outrank me on the anniversary, Reaperversary scale. But can you remember the day you started? Because I can, because it was April Fool's Day, and I expected Dave to just say, "Oh, April Fool's, you don't have a job." Because, you know, Dave. Although that's more of an Ed move. Morning, Inara. Morning. Hey, hashtag Ann for the giveaway. We're going to give away gift certificates today, gift codes. So yeah, hashtag Ann for the giveaway. And then once Reaper thinks we got 57 people in the giveaway. Fantastic. August? Oh, at least you know the month. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I always liked having April Fool's Day as my anniversary. I always thought it was the best work anniversary ever. Because then they could walk up to me any year and go, "Happy anniversary, you're fired." Oh, April Fools. Yes. Hashtag Ann, please. We got 59. Yeah. Pew. Let's see. What do we got? I missed what you said, Quindy. I missed it because there's so much more. Thank you, Yorabeth. I saw everybody was thanking me in the chat's like whizzing by. I'm trying to get set up here, but you're welcome. I love to teach. I love that you guys, whenever you guys tell me that you've learned something from me or that, you know, I've really improved your painting, that is what keeps me going here, right? So, like, that's what makes me happy. Like, that's the thing that keeps me going here. Like, good paint job, okay, cool. But somebody telling me that I inspired them in the hobby, far better. That's priceless. Because I intend to grow this hobby one new person at a time. And, you know, it's totally self-serving because I just want to see tons of beautifully painted models at the Reaper MSP Open competition in, is it September this year? I think it's September. Thank you, Chaos Queen. Yeah. Ah, yes, the containers are coming. Pretty soon we'll have our kid adventurers and our, in my case, snow leopards. Maybe we'll do a terrain piece. Like maybe if I raise my my cam up really high, maybe I can get Mandapar Pass under the camera. What do you guys think? Oh, yes. Automod should be afraid. Yes. Yeah, Kickstarter containers are coming. Coming. Yay, Garbage! Hashtag Anne. Hashtag Anne, A-N-N-E. To enter the first giveaway. Yes, and I'm going to mix up my paint so we can get some of this gold figured out. Oh, and I was going to do the pink, wasn't I? Yes, I was. If I can remember what I was doing last time. I think I was doing that awesome mixture where I used violet red with white and then Kraken ink to shade it. I'm pretty sure that's what we were doing. Excellent. And maybe a little bit of Runic Glow. Runic Glow, because that's so nice. So, yeah. Thousands of bug lips. Yes, you're going to open them and the bug lips are going to swarm over the world. Yep, Beth. Oh. Good, Yod Beth. Yo. Hey, I can, like, empathize there because, like, there was a year after my first time that I tried to freelance. The first time. This is the second time. It's much better. But the first time I tried to freelance, I was out in Baltimore, and my friends and I drove up to New York City to meet a famous painter who is a Slayer Sword winner. So he did a lot of Games Workshop painting, Bobby Wong. While I was in Manhattan, my car got broken into, and all my miniatures and paints were stolen. So I've been there. It's just like this like cold sweat, like you're just in shock for a bit. But his whole apartment building where he lived was so horrified that a visitor's car had been broken into outside of their building that they actually raised $200 to help me just on the spot, just going door to door, to help me start to recoup my hobby, my livelihood at that point. So yeah, that's a little story for you. They broke into the back window of my car. I had to fix that too. Did we get it? Did we award our thing? Did we award our thing? If we did, I'll start. I'm gonna give John the reins of the giveaways today. He's gonna be the one. Yeah, it was. Like New Yorkers are fantastic in my book from that. This was right after 9/11 as well. Bobby actually drove us down around the site. So. Oh, no, that's just, yeah, see, that's just malicious, Yotbeth. That's terrible. Well, I'm glad that you got inspired and started over. I mean, on the one hand, yeah, okay, lots of work and love has been, like, you know, ruined by some dorks. But on the other hand, now you have an opportunity to rebuild your collection, which is kind of exciting. It's like, I am really a glass half full kind of girl. So, like, I mean, you stop and you grieve for it, and then you got to move on and go, okay, now what can I do? Now what can I do? Hey, Daily, thank you. 19 months, dang. Sweet. Thanks, Val. Yep. It's that 18 years at Reaper time. JSO. Yeah, well, that's good. When you've lost your eyes, it's good to have some. It's like you need that arrangement, like the witches in Norse folklore that had the eye that passed it around. So, like, if your wife could just pass her eyeballs to you temporarily and then get them back, then you could both paint. But I guess that's, you know, that's folklore. Thank you, muses. Yeah, good. Yeah, you got to turn it around, right? Can't let them get you down. Got to turn it around. Always say happy. What do you bring to ReaperCon? Bring your brushes. Bring some paints. Like, if you've got a core of paints you use, Shauna, I would bring that. If you bring your own, you should bring something of your own to work on. Because some classes, many classes, will feature models, but you might want to work on stuff just outside of class, because a lot of people just camp at the tables and paint and chat all day long. So, like, if you bring a couple of your own projects and just the paints, kind of your core of paints plus the couple colors that you're working on those projects with, definitely bring your own brushes, though. Because we don't have the ability to just give out brushes in every class, so you do need your brushes. Check my text messages. Sorry. Oh, no. Yeah, I can't hear. Justin. Oh, noes. Oh! Hold on, Justin. I may have muted Discord a long time ago because I was annoyed at it. 1 second. Let me see if I've muted this server. Oh, dear. Unmute server. Okay, talk. I'm not getting anything, Justin. All right, let me unconnect and reboot. Hold on, guys. We've got technical issues. We must attack Discord. Discord is once again being discordant. And we will force it to allow Justin's sultry tones to echo through my computer once again. Let's see. Try again, Justin. No, I'm still not hearing you. You're not muted, are you? Did I mute Justin? Let's see. No. Doesn't look like he's muted on my end. If you have another thing, I just unmuted this channel, so if there's another thing that I should toggle, Justin, text me. Because I don't think I have streamer mode enabled because I couldn't find it last time I looked for it. But if you want me to check that, tell me where to find it. Yeah, I heard the Discord chime too. It's not a scene, Chibi. It's he just comes through my normal audio. So, and I haven't changed my audio settings. Thank you, Otter Mama. Thank you. Oh, 19 months. Yay. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, it's sad that I cannot hear a Justin. Hold on. This is going to be like that stream, isn't it? Oh, I heard him disconnect. See, I'm hearing the cues. Like, I just heard it when you got out of the stream room, Justin. So I just wasn't hearing you. Oh, there's John. There's Justin. Yeah, and I'm not hearing you either, John. Okay. So, you guys, text me about what I could do about this. Like, where do I find streamer mode and just double check that it's not on. Sorry, guys. Because I'm seeing a little circle around your face, your icon light up. So I know you guys were talking, but I'm not hearing it. I don't think it's a problem with, because I should hear him in Discord. All right, well, we're going to let them resolve that while I start teaching. I'm going to have to... Or type in chat, guys, if you, John or Justin, if you have something I should do to troubleshoot. I did just unmute the channel and restart my Discord, and it's still not fixing it, so... Yeah, that's cool. I can start mixing paint while they work on it. Gotta grab all my yellows. Gonna block in a little bit more of the gold. Gonna do my pink. Want to make sure I highlight my flowers. We'll just proceed as normal. Just type. Yeah, April Fools. This is Discord's April Fools. Are John and Justin able to hear each other? That's a good question. Declareman. You need a Reaper. Yes, you can. So it's me. You're telling me it's me. Funny. It's all good. We'll just have to have disembodied hands. I was so hoping for a disembodied voice today, though. All right. All right, let's get this going on. So my initial mix of this beautiful pink is actually using violet red, a color that a lot of people really don't use much. Judging from its sales numbers. Please don't get this canceled, guys. Please pick up Poor Little Violet Red. It makes such a beautiful pink when you add white to it. Did they give... We're going to have more giveaways too, Outer Mom, and I'm not sure if they're doing them all at the end. Guys, are we doing one, like, at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end? Or how are we doing the giveaways today? Oh, Shadowface got the first one? One at the middle. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna space it out. So just wait until they tell you. Okay, first one was Ron. Super! Thank you, Reaper. Thank you, Reaper. Yes, you should totally get Violet Red because it makes this tasty little pink. Here, I will show you. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful pink. Like, the dark version of it here is just lovely. And then you can continue. It's like, this is a pink unlike any other pink we have. Like, this is why Sadie needs to know about this color. Although it would take so much pigment to hit it, probably. Yes, it's hashtag Anne. Yes, I don't know. I assume that everybody entered. Yeah, okay. So we're just entering and rolling it. Okay, cool. Super. 90 people in the giveaway. Fantastic, you guys. You guys rock so much. Have I mentioned that? This is me appreciating you. Like, that's why we're doing this. It's my anniversary. My work anniversary, but you guys get appreciation. 92. Keep on going. All right, so we're using Kraken ink for our shader, which is a lovely color. Or, Kraken. We did determine it was Kraken. I have to remember this. No Greek, Anne. It's not Greek. It's a Kraken. It's 1800s. It's not Greek. This lovely color, which hopefully will be released eventually because it's one of the best purples ever. And it's all thanks to Sadie. Twisted Oma, giveaways. It's my work anniversary and I'm giving away money to you. Well, virtual money to be used on the Reaper store. Kraken ink, yes. Yes, indeedy. So it is my work anniversary, but you get presents, Twisted Oma. This is the way it works. In Anland. In Anland, all my favorite people get presents on my anniversary. Although I do like presents on my birthday, you know. I very much give other people presents on anniversaries and love to get presents on my birthday, Anne. So if you mix these two together, you get a lovely grapey purple. See this? It's just a lovely color. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is pretty much just one drop of my pink that I mixed up, or one brushful, and then one brushful of the Kraken ink, and it really, Kraken ink, sorry, and it gets, I will get that eventually. Yeah, get it. The High Seas palettes are, Sharkbite is also a great color. Yeah, and it is a fantastic dark bluey purple. It's just a lovely, lovely color, as you can see. See how bluey it is compared to the very reddish purple that we mixed there. But that's why it's very versatile. I really like it as a shader. No, that was the going gag. That's my gag, Varl, that I've said for years, is that April Fool's is my favorite hire date because I expected to show up on the doorstep and have Dave say, "You're fired." But yes, I think April Fool's Day is one of the best work anniversaries to have. It's certainly entertained me over the years. Boop. Let's actually paint some stuff while we're, like, waiting for the next giveaway. I know that's terrible and crazy, but, you know, we'll do it anyway. So I'm going to transfer some of my pink over here and drop another drop of white in it. Boop. Maybe even some Runic Glow. Although, I don't know. The thing about Violet Red is that although it has cool pigments in it, it has, like, you know, it has magenta, it has blue. It also starts with a red that's a little bit warmer. So it's not really a magenta-based color, although you can see the shift toward cooler in the paint when I add white. But I don't, because of that, because it tends to shift a little warmer, and I kind of like that, I don't know that I'm going to go up with Runic Glow, because Runic Glow is very magenta, very cold. See it? And I think I want a warmer highlight. So Runic Glow is fantastic for highlighting any other purples, though. Any, like, actual purples. Like, if I wanted to highlight this, I could go up with this, but I could also use Runic Glow and go up a little bit more cool. Da-da-da. Let's see. Hi, Chef of Love. Oh, it's not hashtag free Chef of Love. It's hashtag Anne, because it's my 18-year Reaper anniversary. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. It makes me feel loved. And, you know, even though you know you're loved, you still, you know, a little bit of proof every once in a while really makes your day. Everybody likes that to be told, right? Everybody likes to be told. There you go, Chef. Now you're going to get in. Fantastic. Yes, there has already been one giveaway, and you missed it, but that's okay. We're going to do another one in the middle of the day, and the chat really is flying by. It's not just you, Twisted Oma. I also missed who won. Mostly because I'm trying to actually get some stuff together here so I can start. I can actually paint while we do this. Oh, Shadow Phase won the first drawing. Great. Great, great. And as an additional happy anniversary present today, I will be doing a stream on my own channel later, and we're going to do the D&D stream. I'm going to run. I have an adventure. I've been waiting for the adventure to percolate in my head, and now I have it. So I'm going to do a little work on it. over my lunch and prep. And we will D&D today on my Painting Big stream at, I'm going to start at 2. So we're going, since I canceled my Tuesdays to work on a lot of big Patreon stuff coming up, we're going to go earlier and start at 2, especially since Sadie no longer does Painting Platinum today. I'm not afraid. I used to time it so that I wouldn't interfere so much in the Reaper streams, but she gets to go on the weekends, so I'll start a little early. Just going to highlight some of these. Nope, Duke Hogarden, they are actually gift codes because I like to give something that I know you guys don't already have. So let's move our genie's thing here. Oh, and I dropped my sword. Because it's that kind of week, guys. It's the Ann Drops Everything week. And then I'll have to and then it will fall to somewhere inconvenient. And I will have to try to retrieve it. There we go. Much better. At least the paint wasn't wet. Hey, Sipestorm, woo, within 19 months. Super fantastic. Yeah, Jim at Darksword keeps saying he wants a mini of me, but we need concept art, and so I would need to find a concept artist because I want to be a Valkyrie, a Norse shield maiden kind of girl, and I want Kiri as a war dog, so an armored Kiri. I have a very good picture of Kiri to use as a reference, but of course I do not have a good picture of me to use as a reference. Cranston, that would be kind of awesome, except nobody would get it. They'd all be like, why is this a weird shield? Oh no, Pendrake! Well, hey, you have to go to dentist, but will you be out of dentist by the game, Pendrake? Because we are gaming today. I want a little bit of a higher highlight. So I'm going to transfer some of my pink over to Newell and go again. Oh, Pendrake, you're going to be way out then. Way out of the dentist. Dentisting for a while to miss the stream. Chibi's usually working during the stream, though. I can keep short notes myself. I can type something up. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, vaccine. That's okay. I'll do just even if I do just a very simple plot recap, I can do that. Can do that, yes. Oh no, Crows and Bones. No, Twitch is not allowed to kick, my favorite people off. Twitch, behave. Behave, Twitch. See, now if I threaten Twitch, it's going to be evil. It's going to, try to come in, get us. Alright, so these flowers, these cute little flowers, mostly I'm just going to be highlighting them, just kind of to pick up the edges, but you could also do more of a lighting thing, where you specifically tackled, I could leave this shadow up here, for example, and a little bit of shadow here, and a highlight toward the bottom where the light would be falling. That's right, I need to deal with these leaves. We need to actually make a leaf color based on our other colors. So we can pick up the edges here. But flower petals also tend to have transmitted light, so, Oh, answering Crows and Bones' question. I missed it, Eric. Ah. How do I select my woe? Hold on. Getting back. Must go back in chat. It's so hard to go back in chat. Because everybody's talking. Hold on. I think I missed your question. And I think it was, how do I select my colors? Hold on. And now my chat is very annoyed at me. Why are you annoyed at me, chat? Hold on, I'm just trying to get through so that I can get to the question. The actual question. Oh, yes, yeah, she did Studio DKS, but I'd rather not be a Mongol. If I was going to be commemorated. Oh, it was Luthor in Texas. Yes. Okay. Let's see here. And it was, how do I select my color schemes? Do I have a library of references or just a really good imagination? Luthor, I do it the way I recommend for everybody to do it, which is really, I usually pick, let me grab my color wheel. Color wheel, come to me. So I usually just decide on a color I really want to use. Like, I just make one decision first, and then I work all my other colors from around that. So for Jeannie here, I knew I wanted to go dawn colored with her. So I wanted like colors of the sunrise. And I knew that I wanted her skin to kind of have a gradient from one color to another. So her skin actually gradients from a pale ultramarine up to pink. Like clouds is what I was thinking. I wanted to kind of do it like clouds. So once I chose those two colors, I needed to work everything else off of that. And the easiest way when you've got like a pink is actually a red, right? So like if you add white, red, and adding white, here, let me go down and actually focus. So if I find my pink, then it's a red, and I know that my ultramarine is a blue. So the easiest color scheme to work off of that is a triad, like red, yellow, blue. So my back of my color wheel will actually tell me what to do. I've got a triad there, and you follow the points, red, yellow, blue. And likewise, green, orange, purple is the other triad. But once I knew I had a red, yellow, blue, I knew I wanted to go gold for the armor, and that gives me my red, yellow, blue triad, and then I mostly am sticking to that. Because I didn't want too many colors on the model, I decided that instead of going with different colors for all of this other stuff, I would just go with darker colors for contrast. So I took the ultramarine blue and I used ultramarine shadow and ultramarine blue to create her bodysuit and some of her bracers. And then I went with a red, in this case violet red, because I used kind of a bluish pink when I was doing the skin. So I just made a darker version of that to go with some of these accents, and I just repeated them around the model. So, one second. Chat is continuing to be paused because of scrolling. Can we get away from that? There we go. This is the mini wheel. The mini wheel is, you can get it on Amazon, but you could also probably get it at any art store, any art supply store, maybe even Michael's or Hobby Lobby, whatever your choice is. But they're like $3. Like, they're so cheap. Just search Pocket Color Wheel, and you should get all sorts of places to buy one. Yeah, Michael's Hobby Lobby. It's just so handy. And the thing to remember when you're picking colors, once, like, if you've decided to paint part of your model red, then remember that the farther away from red you go on the color wheel, the more the color's gonna like each other. So, like, red works really well with, like, teal, blue-green, because it's way far away from it on the color wheel. But red and red-orange have a hard time together because they're so similar. So if you're gonna choose colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, make one light and one dark, and it'll work a lot better. Otherwise, look at colors that are further away. So, yep. And I do a class. I will be doing a class. I'm creating a new class on color choices and color theory and all that stuff. So that will come up at some point when I'm doing seminars and classes again. I will almost certainly teach it for ReaperCon. Well, Val, I think we're just going to be moaning over the dice roller because that's what we always do. But, we might also get some actual playing in, as I have an actual adventure in mind. Sidestorm, I usually suggest a bit of wood grain because usually shields were made of wood. So I will just do some streaky lines or actually paint wood grain on the shield, or at least outline the boards and do some stuff like that. I find that that's like, you don't go too all in on it because it's the back of the shield. And unless it's like way out here where everybody can see it, you don't really care that much about it. Since it's not an important detail, you don't want to put too much time into it. So I usually just do a very lightweight suggestion of wood grain. Yes, if Reaper did a color wheel, we would need a clever name for it. My dice are pretty merciless to me in person, so... Although as a DM, my dice have always been happier as DM dice than as character dice. It probably is just because I've GM'd for so long. But yes, we're gonna have an adventure. We're gonna have an adventure this afternoon. Now that we have 4 characters, and we're good there so far. I'm still looking at introducing another character, but I think 4 is pretty good. It makes combat go a little bit easier, faster. Like if I add in 2 more player characters, it's going to take even longer. Let me get closer. Let me get in focus. There we go. Varl, the entire chat plays the characters. I don't do it in a traditional way. I just decided I wanted to like run a game, and So I asked people what character classes we should have and races. We kind of created the world together over like the last several months. And then we started actually playing through adventures. But yeah, we have a dice roller in the channel, and anybody who wants to roll dice for a character can, and anybody who wants to role play a character can. And usually there's not a lot of people with a lot of time to type into chat, so it actually works pretty well. And the really cool thing about it is that then, like, if Zari, our bard, you know, has to interact with somebody, like 3 people could suggest things for her to say, and then I kind of mishmash them together or take the best one, right? Because there always is some spark of genius. So yeah, it's more like we're cooperatively creating a story than a traditional role-playing game, which I like. Yes, and versus the world. That's right, Aspire. That's right. Yeah, we have a good time. And while we do it, I paint the characters. So like Zari, hold on, gonna get Zari. She's a Reaper Mini. She's permitted on stream, and so is Xandros. He's also a Reaper Mini. So we'll be working on Xandros today probably, but we just finished. We just finished painting Zari and Staccato, who is just our Arabic bard or fantasy Arabic bard, and her doglet, who is based on my Kiri, who passed away last year. So these are my first 2. So we just finished those actually, and now as we are starting a new adventure, Xandros, our storm priest, is going to be the one. I actually decided I might do a little more work over here. I want to make that gemstone on his shoulder Kraken eye, so I need to do just a little bit more. And we need to paint his holy symbol and get his armor going on, all this kind of stuff. And that hammer, we need to do something about that hammer. But anyway, so I paint the characters, and yeah, and then the dice punish us all. Exactly. But yeah, we're gonna go to the south of we have a jungle port city that's being built on top of the ruins of an older orc city. And the venture capitalist merchants bought the old city, the old, mostly abandoned orc city from the inhabitants, which were this few remaining orcish families. A couple of the orcs are still in residence. But, of course, there's all sorts of stuff the orcs did not tell the merchants before they bought the city, so, definitely one of those try to flip it. It's a flip it. It's flip that house, only it's flip that abandoned orc city and make it a profitable trade venue. But things are getting in the way, so we're going to actually get some more hints about things that are getting in the way in this adventure. And the party is still first level, although I think after this adventure, Zari and Xandros level up. So then we'll have two second level characters. And I need to get their character sheets online. But I was not focused on the game. It was not a priority up until, now I have an adventure in my mind, so now I can work on it a little bit more. But it's the fun thing, right? I enjoy the game. It just needs to not take time away from, Patreon and stuff like that. So the balance has been a little hard. Because running a game is very time intensive, as you all know. Anybody who's run one. Yeah, it is. He was a sun priest, and I wanted to change him to a storm priest. So that's fairly easy. I can essentially make this little globe on his chest, light yellow gold, and have lightning arcing across his breastplate. I'm going to do kind of the same thing on his shoulder, I think. I had to green it over because, again, there was a sunburst, but I didn't want that sunburst. And here, I want a blank surface, so I could do, a lightning bolt on it, which is more his god's kind of shtick. So... ergonomics, yeah. Oh, this one is sold out everywhere? Or the genie is sold out everywhere? Crows and Bones. Oh yeah, Moon Glooms. He's been around. We actually have even more. Yeah, Val, but I don't want to get more complicated. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to have to keep track of every character separately. I'm just going to do them in groups of 2, I think. Beth, you want to keep your highlights really small. Here I wanted to go pink, because that's kind of like her skin tone. It's just a darker pink. But it's all in how much area you leave red. So when you are bringing up your highlights on red, if you do not want it to go orange or pink, make your highlights very small. Leave a lot of the surface red. Whatever color you want your surface to look, 50% of that surface needs to stay that color. And if you get more than that, that's when you're going to see it shift. Oh, the little Kiri staccato. She's adorable. Oh, the Bard and the Dog. Yes, I actually had one of my patrons send me his copies so that we could paint Zari in staccato, which is very nice of him. Alrighty, so that's highlighted, that's highlighted, that's highlighted, that's highlighted, and that little flower on her butt is highlighted. I feel pretty good about that. Alright, cool. Might need a little bit of shading. Let me thin down this purple that I made. But yeah, the secret, I mean, that's the same with any color, whether you're trying to keep your red instead of pink, or, you know, keep your blue looking darker even though you're highlighting it. It's just how much of the area. So, like, look at each section and ask yourself how much of that area is still the color you want it to look. So if I just started putting a lot more highlights on this blue, I could still keep it dark, but I would have to make my highlights small. Alrighty. Let's see. I thinned down my reddish purple a lot so I could shade these guys a little bit more since they're on the underside of her arm. And I need to look at everything else and see. I think I already lined around the flowers, so they look pretty good, but I could add a little bit of shadow. Yes, hashtag Anne for the giveaway, my dears. And we will award, probably on a stretch break. On our stretch break, we can award another gift code. Thank you all for showing up today. It's very nice to spend my morning with so many people. So many awesome Reaper fans. I really do appreciate it. Cool. It starts off my day right. We're almost to stretch break. Wow, 111. Oh, Dragon Eye, we are doing gift codes because I want you guys to be able to buy what you need. Like all the paint that I tell you should purchase all the time, like Violet Red, which makes this gorgeous pink and partially made this gorgeous purple too. You should definitely run out and buy Violet Red. No, I think they're Reaper and Anne fans. I mean, you know, it's cool if they're Anne fans, but you know, I'll take Reaper fans. I'm good. I'm not fussy. Alrighty, I think that's good enough. I think your pinks are good enough. Yeah, good. Alright, cool. Oh, except I need to do the handle. I always forget the sword because it's separate and I don't want to attach it because, you know, all this stuff. So I'm going to use my Kraken ink. Haha, I said it right that time. To line in between the little cords. Good. Yes, Violet Red. 9026. One of the first colors that came out from Master Series. It was in the first 54. And I wanted to do that because the other purpley colors that were in the core, like Imperial Purple and Nightshade, were more of a blue shift. And I wanted people to have a reddish option. So technically, if you mixed Violet Red with Imperial Purple, you'd get a pretty nice grapey color. So it's all about giving you guys options. We had so few colors in the range at that time. We could not have foreseen that we would get up to 500 eventually. So I was very much conscious of trying to choose colors that gave you guys options that fit the holes that were kind of like standard in a paint line. But let me just make sure I've got okay, so that's going to be up. You want to check your positioning if you've got stuff like this that slots onto your genie, and if you're thinking of overhead lighting and trying to keep your light sourcing correct, you'd always want to kind of check and see, okay, where's the light going to fall? Like we can see right away that there's a shadow here and that the light is falling here because I haven't highlighted or shaded this at all. So any highlighting and shading you're seeing is just the light. So that means I need to highlight this area and shade down that area. So always check your positioning on the model. Make sure that you're paying attention, especially if you're trying to get good and understand lighting. Excellent, Cookie. Cianri Scarlet. It's very, it's a lot like Clear Red Varl. It's a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't using it a lot myself in Aura, but then I started using it, and now I'm addicted. I'm addicted. Like, Halfling. I think I like, made this for Halfling's shirt, like, and now I love it. Now I'm, like, all about it. So, that violet, red, pink, I'm all about it. It's my new favorite pink. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit different, Sarducci. It's, like I said, it's very close, but it's a little bit different. I tried when I was in charge of the paint department for all those years, 15 of them. I really did try to make, even if colors were a little bit similar, like when we do a licensed line, it's not like we can't do, we have to do another black, we have to do another white, we have to do another, like, vibrant red. But you can at least change up the formulation a little bit and give people a little bit of variance so they're not spending money on the same color. So I tried really hard to make sure that every color, no matter how similar it was to a previous color, was just a little bit different. So even our whites are different. And with the whites, it's mostly what base is used, or what amount of additives, or what amount of pigment. It's different. What was that, colorblind? Oh, yeah. It's my ANNEversary. It's actually my my 18 years of working for Reaper colorblind. I started on April Fool's Day in 2003, when we were still in the Louisville shop. That was like the long, low warehouse buildings before it was a year before we got the place up in Denton that we are still in. So I'm going to just block in where my highlights were. Kind of get that. I don't have to really do much to the back of this sword because it's going right up against her hair. So I lined around it, but I'm not really going to light it because nobody's going to see it. Yes, my job is an adult. I refuse to be an adult. I think adulting is overrated. I much prefer to be very young at heart. Which means I get to be the cool aunt to my nephew and niece. My nephew and I can talk computer games, so... There we go. And a little bit of highlight on there. Perfect. Oh, good, K Fritz. Thank you. I try to be pretty bubbly too for this stream, like, and morning is my time. Like, I am a morning person. And I start to, like, turn to a pumpkin when it hits 10 p.m., but it's the downside, right? But yeah, I'm glad my voice makes you happy. I try to keep it really positive on this show because I want to start my day out right, too. Add some of this lovely purple on the underside of the sword to make a shadow. I am going to go and kind of shade the back, I think, with this purple as well, just because this is the back side. Now I put a little work into it, but not a whole lot. Perfect. Let's see. We need to block in our gold on this too. And what's next? Hey, it's stretch break time. Let's take a stretch break. And then we'll come back and we'll probably do some gold blocking in. So let me get some focus. There we go. And there's our sword starting. You're a zombie in the morning. Yeah, I'm kind of happy that I don't have to fight that. Like, I do have some caffeine in the morning, but I don't have very much. And I'm kind of glad I'm not addicted to it anymore. I used to need it. Unicorn cereal. As an adult, I can do that now, and I can claim that it's because I'm still a kid, but I, financially responsible kid. I guess the current form of adulting is a lot more like childing than we want to admit, right? Okay, so everybody, it's time to stretch. We instituted this a few weeks ago when Anne started trying to get more fit and get more core strength and not, like, turn into a little C-shaped painter at her desk. So if you've been sitting for more than 45 minutes, please get up, do a kind of a stretch, put your hands over your head, do a little bit of a back bend, remind your spine that it does curve the other way. Nice. Oh, go ahead, Zito. Zito Raven. Ask a major question. I can answer it while I'm stretching. We can have anything for breakfast we want. Although I'm very healthy these days. It's the steel-cut oatmeal with strawberries or cut bananas in it, and it's the hard-boiled egg. Those are my go-to breakfast items lately. Yeah, traded the caffeine for a regular sleep schedule. Yeah. Oh, I remember the tiny little boxes of cereal. Yes, Bug Lips. Good morning, love. Yes, indeedy. 18 years working for Reaper. It's crazy talk. All right, stretch. I'm going to go down and do my cat-cow stretches on the floor. And then we will resume. And I'll do some gold, I think. There we go. Awesome. Oof. Get up. Get up, Anne. Much better. All right, Zito. Ceramic bowl pellet. Okay, Zito, yeah. So I use a well palette. Wells is bowls is a good term too, but I use a well palette. By preference, I have used wet palettes. I even used one on stream not long ago, but it does not suit my style of painting. And the reason it does not suit my style of painting is that I'm the kind of girl who likes to mix up my color, get it to exactly the level of paint consistency as far as water that I want, and then I just want to paint with it for an hour. I don't want to have to like mix every brush full of paint that goes onto my model. So because I work with very thin paint, I add a lot of water to my paint. When I use a wet palette, it's very, very frustrating for me because I add water to my paint and then right away it slurps through the paper into the sponge. So my paint does not stay at the right consistency. So when I'm doing something like textures, like fine texture or layering or blending that requires, really thin layers, then I just feel like I can't do it nearly as easily. It's very frustrating to try to do it on a wet palette because I can't control my paint consistency nearly as much as I can with this. With this palette, which has 28 wells, it's a ceramic palette, that's a porcelain palette, so that's important because it means that I can clean it so nicely after I use it. You see each well is about thumb-sized. So what that means is that I can use relatively few drops of paint and water, like about 8 drops is usually what I end up about, and that makes a deep enough puddle that the paint won't be, essentially you'll have this well of fluid and then the surface area is up here. But as long as you've got all this fluid that's not exposed to the air, the paint will dry very slowly. And so my paint stays at the consistency I need it for the technique that I'm working on for much longer. And I mean, it can stay good for hours and hours. If I just keep adding a brush full of water every hour or so, it'll stay right where I need it. So that is, that's important to me because of what I do. So it really, what I tell people, Zito, is that what palette, well, you should try both. You should try both kinds. But understand that if you want a well palette to work well, you need to build deep puddles of paint. So a lot of people will use a well palette, but they'll just put like 2 drops in it and a brush full of water. That isn't giving really, it's giving you a lot of surface area. It's going to dry out really fast. That's why I like these smaller wells where I can make smaller puddles, but they'll still stay wet for a good long time. But the other thing about well versus wet is if you tend to use bigger and thicker brushes and you use thicker paint, like you really like to use thicker paint, then the wet palette works a lot better for that style. But if you are like me and you like to really thin your paints pretty extremely, like I'm always doing glazes and even blending with glazes a lot. So I'm thinning this stuff 1-to-1 or even more. I can't do that on a well or on a wet palette. It'll just go bloop. So that's why. So this palette is Yeah. So the other thing, Zito, is if you're newer at the hobby and you want to pick up like understanding like gut level, like what consistency do I need for a glaze? What consistency do I need for smooth blending with layering? Things like that. And if you're having trouble with that with a wet palette, I do recommend trying out a well, because it gives you, like, as you're learning to build these, you kind of learn, okay, with a dark color, I just need to go 1-to-1 paint to water, and that'll give me the right consistency for glazing, right? For something like that. And as you work with that, you slowly stop having to pay attention to the number of drops, and you get a gut feel for how your paint should look when you're trying to do a particular technique. Then you can go back to the wet palette, and then you're a master because you can mix every brush fold exactly the way you want it. So yeah, so that's it. And yeah, Cheap Joe's, as everybody is talking about in chat, Cheap Joe's Art Supplies, they have this palette, and I always recommend them, but because of all the shipping crisis and everything, they've been back ordered on it for a little while. So I can't say Cheap Joe's, but if you can find a small well palette, like I said, I love this one because I can sit here and do all sorts of colors and work on all sorts of areas of the figure while still keeping my original color as, you know, as good as anything. So like if I spent another 2 hours doing her gold NMM and then I realized I'd forgotten a flower somewhere, I'd still have all these colors mixed. They'd still all be good. So yeah. So it's the whys behind it as well, right? So like I said, Zito, I always recommend people do both. And kind of like learn the strengths and the weaknesses. For thicker paint and for faster painting, especially if you're doing a lot of spot wet blending, the wet palette can be fantastic. But when you start getting into real thin paint applications, if you try to do that on the wet palette without having an understanding of the paint consistency you're aiming for, it can be very frustrating to you. So you may want to try a well, learn more, get a gut feel, internalize that feel of the paint that you want. Like, okay, I need this for layering. And then you can move back to your wet if you want to, right? And you'll know a little bit more. A lot of painters use both for different applications because these are much easier for washes, glazes, layering. So yes. Oh yeah, Fubeka mentioned Amazon has a similar one to Cheap Joe's. It's a 24 well ceramic palette, 24 well ceramic watercolor paint palette. There we go. And Medine is the name. So you could go take a look at that, or Meeden. So yeah. But for thinner paint apps, this, and also sometimes people say metallics because metallics can get a little weird on a wet palette. So you can build a well of metallic in this paint. So yeah, those are my reasonings. Those are what I've learned over the years. I have forced myself to use a wet palette. And we in fact have painted models on the stream using the wet palette, but it's just not my favorite because I like to use thin paint so much. And then when I use it, I'm just like hunting for little droplets on my my wet palette to thin down my paint to the consistency I'm used to. And if I hadn't developed such a good sense of how thin or how thick I needed it, that would be really frustrating for me. So yeah. Oh, ceramic, absolutely, every day over plastic Zorblack. Okay, so your plastic palette is like a bit cheaper, but you're getting what you paid for. You will never get the plastic palette this clean, not ever. Maybe after the first use. But the thing is that when you put paint in a plastic palette, you usually have to scrub it to get it up. Every time you scrub a plastic palette, you're leaving micro abrasions. And that means that the paint next time is going to stick even better. So for the ceramic, it's like glass, right? And so you just have to put it in a sink with some hot water and a spritz or two of cleanser, leave it 5 minutes, and then all the paint comes up beautifully. I like having a clean palette every time. I would be so frustrated if tiny bits of paint were all over my palette. I used to hate that as a kid when I was in art class. We used those cheapo plastic palettes. So plastic, not very cleanable, especially not in the long run. Same with metal. Ceramic is where it's at, porcelain specifically. Yes, but I mean, if you want to use plastic, just be aware that you're probably going to want to throw it away. I mean, there's a reason they're cheap. I just like the porcelain so much better for cleanability and longevity. Airbrush Full Improver. Okay, so that's a trick then. Love and Music just shared, which is awesome. You guys should check out Love. She just started streaming on Twitch, and she started painting her first minis, and she's a pro at 3D printing too, so she does a lot of that. So you should go and definitely give Love and Music a follow. Here she is giving us tips in chat. It is an extra cost, right? That's true. But it's good to know that you can clean plastic. It's just a little harder to keep it clean.
it's not an extra cost in the long run.
Yeah. Well, Love just shared a tip that if you use Airbrush Flow Improver, you can get paint to lift out of a plastic palette without scrubbing, which would essentially keep your palette good for longer, but then you're going through a lot of Flow Improvers, so it's an extra cost. That's her point. But yes.
Yeah, I think probably the cheapest is just to get a porcelain one.
Yep. Yeah, cheapest is porcelain. Yeah, it is, because you've paid $10 once for a porcelain palette, and it stays good forever, unless you drop it on the floor, and technically you can still use the ones that don't shatter. Okay, second question. How altered gouache and acrylics, some things to make it the way you like it. Yeah, you got some Arteca, acrylic, and gouache. Yes, it can be, it can be. Tube paint can be used to paint minis, no problem. Gouache is a little bit more problematic. You're going to have to seal. I use gouache in a 2D medium because I do some 2D art as well. Gouache is the closest consistency to the paints that we use in mini painting. As far as the traditional art world, gouache is close. But gouache does not set. If you add water, it will reactivate because it is watercolor. So keep that in mind. That makes it not ideal for miniature painting. Like, you could use it, I think, and you're good up to a point, but then I think you'd have to seal it. To go any farther with it. I haven't experimented with it on miniatures, but the lack of setting essentially has made me avoid it for that purpose. But tube acrylics, a lot of miniature painters use tube acrylics, especially white. When they want a really harsh white, they'll get a zinc white or whatever it is and use that for spot highlights. So with tube paint, honestly, I just thin it as I go. Like, I use the scale color artist line sometimes, and I'll just blob a little bit into my regular palette and just add water until I get it to the consistency I want, and I'll add extra flow improver. And usually that's enough. Usually the extra flow improver will be enough to give it the body I want. It still doesn't layer as well. Like, if you need a paint to be thinned to really nice transparency levels, I do find that tube paint does not do it very well. Except for the dark vivid colors. When you're working with dark transparents, they're the same in any line. But when you get more opaque, when you're dealing with more opaque pigments from a tube paint, it's really hard to get those things to layer as smoothly as Master Series, because Master Series was designed to layer. So yeah, when you'll notice that difference when you start working with lighter colors in tube paint. All right. Boom. Let me get everybody. Yeah, Flow Improver from MSP. The other brand I like is Winsor & Newton. But yeah, the MSP Flow Improver is just fine. That's what I tend to use. Oh, disembodied. Justin wants to know if you want to do the next giveaway. Yes, let's do the next giveaway. Yeah, Winsor & Newton. I think there's no D. I don't think I've got a... Do I have a Winsor & Newton thing around here somewhere? Yeah, I do. Let me see. Winsor & Newton. It's a very, very old British company. Winsor & Newton. Them. I use their brush cleaner, too. It's really the only brush cleaner, in my opinion. Yes, let's do a giveaway. Oh, Miyabi! You won it! Yay! Super! Yes, no, you are welcome, Zito. Always ask questions. Like, having to go over, even if I talk about this stuff a lot, even if I'm going over something I've gone over in the past, it's still worth it because there's always new people tuning into the stream. And the question that you ask could answer the question of 2 or 3 other people who are watching. And I mean, repeating information is never a bad thing anyway, because we hear it and it goes in one ear and out the other because we're trying to absorb so much in our lives every day. And so me talking more about particulars and specifics of this stuff can only help. So absolutely cool. All right, let us get our NMM color out here. So yeah, so when I'm working with my well palette, I usually will do 4 or 5 drops of paint. And then usually I'm going to do 1 drop right now because this is for base coating. But usually it's a 2-to-1 I mix up. And that's a good starting point. And then I'll thin more if I need it for whatever I'm doing. But this is NMM Gold Highlight. I decided to start with a really pale yellow for her gold because I wanted her to kind of be ethereal. So I wanted to make everything... I didn't want anything to be dark or brooding or too earthy looking. I wanted it all to be kind of cloudy. Yeah, what Flow Improver does... Okay, so Zito, Flow Improvers do 2 things. And most Flow Improvers do... one a little better than the other, and some do one to the exclusion of the other. So experiment with Flow Improvers and see which one you like. But what flow improvers do is they self-level the paint, which keeps it in suspension, and they also break down surface tension. So essentially the paint will come off your brush smoother and easier. So it enables you to do tiny lines, tiny dots, things like that. So flow improver is very important. Do understand, however, that Master Series paint has flow improver added to every batch. So you already are getting some flow improver in your paint. I do add extra just because if I'm doing fine details, it just helps a little bit extra. It certainly doesn't hurt. So good, Custom Toys, absolutely. So yeah, that's the two chemical functions of flow improvers is self-leveling, and surface tension breaking. No, it's not a paint thinner. Although technically you can thin your paints with flow improver. It's fine. There's enough water in it that's not going to compromise the strength of your paint. The problem with some paint thinners is that they definitely change the feel of the paint. So, and that can affect how it works in the techniques that you're using. So you add, what I do typically is I'll add, like if I'm working with the Reaper Flow Improver, I'll just add that instead of water if I'm doing fine detail. But the Reaper Flow Improver, a lot of Flow Improver, if you buy it, it'll be in concentrate form where you have to thin it. Then it's useful to have a blank bottle, an empty bottle to swap a little bit of it in and then thin it. So, but yeah, paint thinner's weird. Like, okay, so paint thinner usually has water in it, and it usually also has resins. And resins are the core of a paint. It's the plasticky stuff that makes the paint glob together and makes it dry and set. So a thinner often doesn't want your paint to be as watery, so there will be resin in there, but there will also be water. But it can definitely change the way your paint acts. It'll act more like it does when I mix in some brush-on sealer to my paint if I'm trying to do like a wash. Because it'll add body, but it's not adding more pigment. So it makes the paint go more transparent. Stuff like that. Wow, Natcat, you go through MSP even faster than I do. Actually, I usually pitch my bottles, but that is a point. I could very much thin. I could at least rinse out the whites. Some of the blacks and other I wouldn't. Cool. Excellent. Thank you, Quindy, for the links. But yeah, so that's the scientific basis of Flow Improver, is it does those two things. Usually any given Flow Improver will do one a little better than the other. Just because it tends to be an either or unless you mix them. Reaper, as I recall, is kind of a mix, so you should get a little bit of each. But yeah, because our paint already has Flow Improver, it's not necessary. You can just use water. And most of the time when I'm doing this, I'm using water. Because I know there's Flow Improver in the paint, I don't need to add more. Oh yeah, the matte sealer, definitely you can rinse out the bottle after that. That's because there's no pigment to stain or stuff like that. It's much easier. Good idea. Alrighty, let's see, where am I? Ah, that's right, I was going to paint gold on the sword. So that's why we're starting so light with this gold color, guys. You can see the gold color straight up on her bracelet, and then how we've been doing this. And we've actually been mixing our shadows for this pale gold by adding purple. So this is a complementary color shading that we do on this model. And that was, again, because I wanted to avoid earth tones. I wanted to avoid, like, heavy browns. I wanted her to look like she's, coalesced out of air, and that meant taking a slightly different angle to doing the NMM gold. Making it look a little bit more magical, a little more fantastical, and a little bit different than usual when I tend to use a lot of browns. So that it's just a specific goal of my gold on this character. Plus, I did this a while ago, showing how to shade yellow with purple, and people liked it, so thought I would do it again. Did it on the Hippocampus model for the last Kickstarter. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Kickstarter fulfillment because I have some cool models in there that I'm looking forward to getting. But lately, I'm just like overwhelmed with cool models. All sorts of Kickstarters are fulfilling at once. It's never, you wish the Kickstarters would just fulfill like, one every 3 months or so. But no, it inevitably goes, suddenly I get 60 zillion models showing up on my doorstep. They are all gorgeous and they all want me to paint them right away. And it's just not going to happen. Alrighty, get the underside here. It can be a little messy because I can always trim it up when I do the blade. Yeah, NMM Gold highlight. Yeah, it's, I really think it's cool the orangey browns you can get with adding purple to yellow. So I'm going to paint the back of the sword even though we really can't see it except for the end. Just because, you should always paint the model. Even if you can't see it. I at least put a layer of paint on it. And if it's a highlight, if it's a surface that would get light, I would usually put 1 layer of highlight on it and 1 layer of shadow. Even if it's kind of, part of it is hidden. Just in case. So most of this blade is going to be in blues, I think. Swirly blues, cloud-like colors. But this top part is going to be gold. Because it looks like it's kind of holding things together. Best practice for brush control, Benny, is actually to start lining. I actually talked about this yesterday. But lining on things that have a lot of scales like dragons or panel lines on if you enjoy painting armor and tanks or airplanes, model airplanes, doing the panel lines on there. You will naturally get better brush control as you paint if you practice it. So like if you're just like throwing paint on stuff and you're kind of like leery of trying to do fine detail because you feel like you're not good at it, you're never going to get better at it if you don't try it. But the easy way to get in is to like find a dragon with kind of like a scale pattern that's kind of maybe cross hatching, like X's. And I was showing people the fire giant yesterday. The fire giants are a good one too. They've got armor that's a crisscross of overlapping scales. And just get some liner and start lining stuff. The other way to improve it, or some of the other tips to improve, is just to keep your hand comfortable. And if that means bracing, awesome. Most of us brace one hand on the other when we paint miniatures. With me, I tend to do like my pinky on my thumb and I paint that way. But everybody's got their own pose that they developed to brace. But I think bracing is actually less important than the practice of the repetitive motion. So the other thing is, don't mess up your brush stroke a lot. Don't hold your brush at all these weird angles and try to paint around like that. Instead, when you need to hit other parts of the mini, turn the mini so that you can get to that part easier. So that your brush is always doing the same thing. If your brush is always doing the same stroke, you're building muscle memory, and that's what lets you do all these tiny details. Yeah, Pathfinder Red Dragon is good for lining practice on the scales for sure. 10-inch Arthas statue. Yeah, I did a 12-inch Soldier 76 from Overwatch, Benny. A lot of project when you're painting something that big, huh? Yeah, I caught the metal traits with the gold trim. Yeah, just touch them up. Having a touch up is also a normal thing. Like, I often will do just a little bit of a blorf, but it should be pretty easy. It helps if you base coat it, and then you can kind of touch up your base coats. Everything, Bearded Goblin. No. I don't know when your connection cut out, so I'm not sure. Somebody asked about building brush control, though. If you're on my Patreon, this is now time for the Patreon plug, because I have a great video on this, on building brush control faster. And I did it, and that is actually the title of it. So if you're on my Patreon, go check that out if you do need to build brush control. If you are not on my Patreon, consider it. It is patreon.com/paintingbig. I do a lot of lessons. I have over 2 years of content up there now, so you get a great bargain for your $2 or $5 or $10 tier. And we also have a $15 paint along tier. So, and I've got a lot of special stuff coming up for those tiers in the coming, in May. So April is going to be a hard month for me trying to get all this extra stuff out for you guys. Do you want to see my visual aid that I made yesterday for my Sky, Earth, NMM tutorial? That's one of the special things I'm doing for May. I can give you guys a sneak preview, right? Oh, and there's my Patreon. Thank you, Quindy. Quindy's always so awesome about linking to my Patreon. So yeah, there it is. But here, let me show you. Because I'm trying to like really break down how Sky, Earth, Metal works. Look, I made a thing. So that's part of, I'm doing these little painted examples, and I'm using my Templar as an example for the metal and all that stuff. So yes, my Patreon is hopping, and it's going to have some awesome stuff show up next month. So do consider it. Thank you. All right, Patreon plug over. Back to painting. There we are. Oh no, the problem is now everything is wet. I can't put it down. Ah! We'll put it down. I do have to actually rebase coat. There's a couple of sections here, like the one under her arm, that does not have a very solid gold base coat. And who puts chainmail, a ring, or scale mail in their armpits, guys? Who? What kind of genie puts scale mail in their armpits? Like, Bobby, what were you thinking? Like, I'm a Bobby Jackson fangirl with the best of them, but sometimes that man's design choices for female clothing, I tell ya. Yeah, Bobby is a sculptor. She's very ticklish. That's funny, Quindy. I just think about how uncomfortable that would be if I was wearing it. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, JS, you've got it. Torture for sure. But yeah, because I had moments of disbelief, I guess I didn't finish painting the base coat on that. They were invisible. I disbelieved in them, and they disappeared. Yeah, it should be soft, airy scale mail. He does. Yeah, it is Ty, but I still think about how uncomfortable it would be. Like, you've got to have, I mean, I know we all want to stay alive, and we don't want our armpits to be skewered when we're dueling, but I think about it, and I'm just like, I don't know. like, give me a nice smooth molded plate instead of, like, I just think ring mail might pinch. I don't know, I'm groaning, maybe. I mean, I don't have that much experience wearing armor, so I'm sure that people who actually do, like SCA and fighting out there, could tell me, no, woman, trust us, you want armored armpits. I'll try to listen and believe. Yes, if she's ethereal, right? So she could probably just, keep herself ethereal in the armpits and totally ignore that. Ethereal Armpits. That's a great band name. Right there. Punk band. Or maybe ambient trance. I guess with the ethereal, a trance band would be more like it, right? Although having a metal band named Ethereal Armpits would be probably the most comedy. Just gonna put another layer on my lamp here because I blocked in a lot of this stuff, but I didn't get a really solid base on it. Starting to get to new figures. Have you thought about doing a metal mini? Oh, I already have a metal mini. I've painted them before Zorblack, and I've just added another one in. But I'm not showing you guys right now. I was painting a ton of metal a while back, because like that's when we started Ms. Duelist. We painted Ms. Duelist in metal. She's not quite done yet, but she's getting done because she's going up for sale. And then Ms. Pirate Girl, Storm Chaser. She also is a metal figure. And we painted the start of those on my stream, so. Nearing the end, would I like to do the third and final giveaway? Yes, I would. Please give away things to these awesome people. So everybody's got their hashtag Ann in, right? Saib, it's on my Patreon. It's one of the things that I decided to offer to my higher level patrons is they get first dibs. If it doesn't sell there, then it gets offered to the rest of the Patreon. but it's $10 and up. Yes, hashtag and if you have not hashtag and. Get in on the giveaway. We'll just have to set up some gold for next time. We'll have to bust butt and get the rest of this gold figured out next stream. But we got our pink together. She's actually closer than you think because so much of her is just mist, right? So that's going to be painting all that all at once. It's going to go pretty fast, I think. 126 total. Nice. Thanks for showing up for my anniversary, guys. My Reaperversary. I appreciate it so much. Oh, Faynatty. Yay, you won. Awesome. Congrats. Yes. There we go. And Quindy with the what to do if you win. Congrats, Faye. I hope you're here. Did you see that you won? Yay, there you are! Yes, yes. And look up at what Quindy just linked for the directions on how to claim. How to claim. Because gifts aren't gifts unless you claim them. There we go. Quindy got you with that link again. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. I think I'm just going to line around my gold. Because I don't want to like mix up NMM gold colors and then have to stop the stream. So I'm going to grab my Kraken ink. I'm going to add a little water to it because it's been a while since I mixed it. And any dark color is usable as a liner, and Kraken ink is definitely dark enough to use that way. You can see that it's very close to black, although it doesn't have a lot of black in it. It's just using very dark pigments. Awesome. Hi, Quindy. Oh yeah, I bet. Especially with how fast the chat flies on Reaper Live. But yeah, for those who want to hang out and D&D storytell later, I have twitch.tv/paintingbig. I'll be on it around 4 p.m. Central Time. I have to draw a map first. Have to have a map so I can describe things. Every good DM has a map. Yeah. Well, we're almost done with this stream. Everything is on the YouTube eventually, so you're good. And for my stuff, it's up on my Twitch a couple weeks after, unless I decide to save it for posterity on my YouTube. And so a little bit of lining just to separate out everything. Thank you, Socrates. Yes, 18 years with Reaper. Another 2. If I manage to get in another 2, and with all you guys supporting us on Twitch, I'm hopeful that this will be a thing. Then it'll be my 20-year anniversary. So then we'll have to do something amazing if I'm still here in 2 years. We'll have to have an amazing... We'll might even have to, like, you know, be like Reaper Live and give away half the company. I'll have to get clearance from Ed to give half of the other half of the company away, because he already gives half the company away every time Reaper Live goes, or so I hear. Yeah, I mean, for Reaper, it gets put up on YouTube, so you can always watch any of these shows on YouTube, and that's Reaper Miniatures YouTube. Just do a search, you'll find us. All of these shows go up on there, including like things like ReaperCon classes that were done for the public on Twitch and stuff like that. I've just gotten to the point where I'm not saving a lot of my own private stuff on Painting Big onto the YouTube, because I kind of want to transition my public YouTube toward more little tips. I keep getting asked for like little 5-minute or 10-minute episodes on just little basic painting tips and stuff. So I have been planning to go there for a while. It's just making the extra time. I don't know. So doing a line, and it's going to be a messy line, but this is just a base coat, so I can always touch it up. But I like to kind of crisp up everything. And again, this sort of lining, just helps you develop your brush control better. It also helps you develop your paint consistency control, like, so it's not always coming off your brush. It's possible. This is, Ty, this is a resin. This is one of the original resins. So, the blade probably comes attached on your Bones copy, but this is one of the original resins done for Reaper. So, original print. One of the last things I stole off of Ron's desk before I left. Like, I'm gonna have to go during ReaperCon this year. I'm gonna have to go to Reaper just to steal stuff off of Ron's desk for old time's sake. Plus, that's the only way to get anything. Anything good, anyway. If I want some new, exciting things to put on the stream. Oh, live stream the unloading of the next container. Wow, that... They're gonna, like, be sweating just watching you guys. Like, if it's at all as warm as it is in California, everybody will be, like, out there sweating up a storm in the warehouse in the sun. You can all see the vast amount of stuff that comes in one of those containers. Excellent. Could be like Procter and call dibs. Ha ha ha. Five today? 5 containers? Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's gonna be rough. Like, okay, yeah. If you have a bad back, like, don't even show up. You'll be done. I remember. Reaper Live may be just you unloading containers. Ed can talk about anything, right? He'll just stand there and talk about Reaper and tell stories of past Kickstarters while everybody unloads in the background. That's it. Or he'll stand there with a clicker and he'll click as every box goes by to make sure that, to show you guys how many boxes there are. That's funny. That would be really amusing. So what we did today, we talked about paint. Gosh, we answered a lot of questions about different types of palettes. We finished highlighting our pink. We finished blocking in our gold. So next time we can work on really getting the row. Yeah, go ahead and find us a raid, Reaper. Thank you. That'd be a really big, that'd be the meta unboxing video, right? Yes, Ed's old ass stories featuring container unloading. But Ed has the best stories. Super Ego, you missed everything. All the giveaways, all the knowledge, all the everything. But that's okay because this episode is going to be up on, like, YouTube later. So don't worry about it. And it'll be on our Twitch. But yeah, we gave away gift cards and stuff because it's my anniversary. It's 18 years at Reaper. Thank you all for being here for my 18-year Reaper anniversary. I am very happy that you all came. And I hope you have fun on the rest of the day. It'll be Reaper Live. I'll be doing stuff on my channel. And then, yeah, it'll be a party. It'll be, in Reaper's case, it'll be the Reaper paint, Kickstarter container unloading party. Yes, thanks, guys. You made it so awesome today. John's still looking for a super special raid. All right, here we go. Oh, Sky Daddy, yay! Sky's always so happy. Make her like go blee at the huge raid that we're going to be giving her, guys. Thank you all so much. And I will see you again tomorrow. Yes, thanks, everybody. Aw, thanks, Derek. You're so sweet. Awesome.